Hi folks, this is Mr. Colley, and in this demo we are going to look at this program we've got here to help us form a band. Our band is going to have 3 members, and each one is going to input what instrument they play, and that is going to get added to a list we've got here called band. So this band list will expand as we run through the program, adding the instruments that are typed in on lines 4, 7 and 10 to the list. Now, this program works just as we want it to, but we could make it more efficient because, as you can see here, the code in rectangles is the same thing 3 times. And so what we can use when we want to repeat the same action 3 times is a loop or some iteration. So what I'm going to do is I've taken the example code here and I've picked out this piece of code here, and I've got rid of the other 2 because we're going to put this piece of code in a loop to repeat it 3 times. Now let me get to my IDE. There we go. Here it is. So we want to loop, pick an instrument, get the input, and append or add it onto the end of the list 3 times. I could here use a counter like we have done in previous activities, in previous lessons, and in year 8 as well. But there is a slightly, I could have another counter variable. There is a way of doing it without having that counter variable. We're going to keep looping while the list is less than 3 items long. So while, that's my loop, and then I set my condition for keep looping. So whilst the length, which is len, of my list, and my list is called band, excuse me, I can't spell it, whilst the length of my band list is less than 3, like that, and I will add a colon on there. Now, the reason I said less than 3 is because our list starts at 0. So if we go 0, 1, 2, that's 3 items. So we want to repeat, pick an instrument, add it, whilst our length of our list is less than 3. I've indented each of these lines here, line 5, 6 and 7, using the tab key, which is the one above my caps lock key on my keyboard, because I want those 3 instructions to be part of the loop. If we go back to our slide, you'll see that those are the 3 instructions that were repeated. So those are the 3 I want to be inside the loop. Line 9 here is not indented, so it's not inside the loop. So what will happen is this will get executed. This print the band list will happen after the loop has finished running 3 times. So let's run that code, and we're going to run it in debug mode so we can watch it a line at a time. Here we go. It's running a bit slowly for me this afternoon. This line 1 will go yellow, hopefully. Let's try again. Debug faster. There we go. It's running fast debug now. There we go. Let's form a band. Skip to the next line, and it's executed that. It sets up a blank list. You can see it's done it over here in my variables menu, because lists are a form of data structure, which means they store data just like variables do. And it's got nothing in it. Whilst the length of the band is less than 3. The length of the band is less than 3. You can see it's got nothing in it at the moment. Print, pick an instrument. It's done that. Now it waits for my input, so we'll go with the most important instrument first, bass. And when I'll press enter, put the bass into the instrument variable, and when I move on, it will add the contents of that instrument variable. It will append it to the list. That means put it on the end. There we go. So let's put that into the list. Whilst the length of the band is less than 3, so here we're deciding if we want to loop again. Well, this has only got 1 item in it at the moment, so pick an instrument. There we go. Input, drums, enter, and append. You'll see it add that onto the end of my my list there. It's appended it on. I'll just drag this over so you can see the third one being added. Is the length of the band list less than 3? Yes, it is. Carry on again. Pick an instrument. Instrument equals input. Get my input. Guitar. Press enter. Instrument variable change to guitar. It's assigned it there on line 6, and line 7 is going to append it to the list. You can see it's been added on there. Whilst the length of the band list is less than 3, well, it's not now. It is 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip the loop because that condition wasn't true anymore, and it's going to print band. So it should, there we go, output the contents of my list at the bottom. So that's how to use a loop with this len or length function to detect the length of my list and keep looping through it to repeat some list operations.